Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Wartrain here. Do me a favor, if you're new, please subscribe and click the notification bell down below so you can be notified of all my new videos. In today's video, guys, we're going to check out what games I have on my modded Super Nintendo Classic. I had some viewers ask me to make this video, and I absolutely have no problem doing that because it's definitely cool to check out this little machine. This thing is absolutely cool, and I have a ton of games on here. So let's jump into it. Alright guys, we're going to check out my Super Nintendo Classic. These are the games that I added with my mod. So as you can see, this whole first screen here is all the original games. I wanted the appearance that nothing was changed. So just going through, you see all the normal games, but then you have this file. That file is something different, and then it says more games. So you click on that, and then it basically will bring you to the screen where you have all these other files, and each one of these has a set number of games. And I believe right now I have it in like alphabetical order. You can actually change it. Well, I have it by titles, which is alphabetical order, but you can do it by a single player, two player, recently played, just a whole bunch of different features. So as you can see, you click on one here, and it brings you to games that aren't on the normal system. So we got ActRaiser 1 and 2. These games are great. I definitely am a fan of ActRaiser. Really like the first one. It's definitely brings something different to a 2D side scroller. It has a different mechanic, some RPG mechanics, where you actually play as this little Cupid, which you are supposed to be God. It's actually a really fun game. And as you can see, you got Adventures of Batman and Robin, Aero Fighters, Aero Acro-Bat 1 and 2, Aladdin, Alien 3, Aliens vs. Predator, Animaniacs, Williams Arcade, Arcade Greatest Hits. I mean, there's so many games here. The Super Nintendo library is just fantastic. Here you got some Batman Returns, Battletoads, just great stuff. And you can see here this big Sky Trooper. The artwork is flipped. I've done multiple mods to this thing to try to correct things like that, but there's so many games you easily overlook stuff. Biker Mice from Mars, Biometal, that's a great game. Blackthorn, Dracula. I mean, just lots of stuff here. Captain Commando, and then you got some Dracula X. We're going to quick run through some Dracula X just so you guys can see this. This is what, if you ever heard of Rondo of Blood, this would be the Super Nintendo version of Rondo of Blood. It's not quite as good just because it is not quite exactly the same, but this is the Super Nintendo port we got. It's better than nothing. It's still a great game. I still really like this version. This is a pretty pricey game. If you would pick up this cartridge, I think it goes for maybe a couple $100. I love this first stage. I think the flames look awesome, and the music is great. And Castlevania is just a great series. It's so iconic. Holy smokes. That guy was tearing me up. Yeah, take that. Yeah, the flames are a cool effect. And you can see in the background I have this like ambient light filter on. I like this background. This is the one that I've been using recently. The Medusa heads. Alright, so I'm going to drop out of here and go back to the main screen. I don't want to spend too much time on any one game here, but I want to show you guys a couple as I'm paging through, because there is some really great games for the Super NES. Okay, so we'll go to the second file here. Got your Chrono Trigger, a game which a lot of people think should have been on this Super Nintendo Classic lineup. Clay Fighter, Congo Caper, Cybernator, D-Force, Superman, Demon Crest. Another great game. I just got to show you guys this quick. What a fantastic game. This is actually Firebrand from Ghosts and Goblins, or Ghouls and Ghosts. The red demon named Firebrand. You actually play as him in this game. And this game actually is really expensive. Just a cartridge of this probably goes for about $300 to $350. So, you know, a way to actually play this game where you're not breaking the bank here. Because let's face it, that's a lot of money for a cartridge. But some of these games on Super Nintendo are super highly collectible. Because it was a great system and had an awesome library of games. Remember the first time I played this guy? He just shredded me. I couldn't figure out how to beat him. And then I realized you just have to kind of hover and hit him in the head. And then it was like, okay, wow, this is pretty easy. A lot easier than I was making it out to be. As I'm getting destroyed here. Alright. I was gonna say, he is pretty easy, but like the first time I played it, I didn't know what to do, and I just kept falling into his fire. Yeah, you just gotta hover. He comes back for more, but he's pretty much stuck there. And you can just fly right over the ground. So he's toast. So we made light work of him. Pretty easy. And this game just has an awesome vibe to it. I like the art style, and it's fun, definitely with the hover mechanic and everything. You can just literally fly over everybody. You could smash the statues. Cool dragon in the background. Alright, so we'll jump out of this game and go back to the main screen. Alright, Got your Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3. The first one isn't here because it's in the original game screen. Some Doom. Doom Troopers, Double Dragon. Dragon View, Dragon's Lair. I mean, this is another great one right here, Evo. Highly recommend to check this game out. It's definitely different. You evolve, which is so cool. You start as like a little fish and you're able to get big teeth and bigger tails and bigger fins. It's really cool. And ultimately you evolve and can get out of the water, and it's definitely a different game, but something pretty cool. I imagine that cartridge is getting pretty pricey too. Got your Final Fights. This is another great game, the Firemen. I actually showed this on my Super NT Mini video. I recommend you guys check that one out if you didn't see it. The Super NT Mini is basically the Ferrari of Super Nintendo systems. It's a way to play your cartridges on hardware that you can play them in 720p, 1080p, 480p if you want. You can add scan lines. You can do all sorts of things, but it's, if you want to play on a modern TV and you want your games to look the best that they can, the Super NT Mini is the way to go. Alright, so we got The Legend of Mystical Ninja. That's a great game. Goof Troop, Hagane, another one. We're going to check this out. Now, this is another game, probably one of the more expensive ones. This one actually goes for about upwards of $500 for the cartridge. So, super expensive. And I think the whole idea behind this one was that it may have been a Blockbuster Video exclusive. Don't quote me on that, but I think that was the deal, and that's why it was pricey. But it is a great game. It's definitely got an arcade look and an arcade like feel to it. It's really fast-paced and just a lot of stuff going on. It just shows you how good the Super Nintendo actually could be. I think this game looks great. Like big super moves like that. I mean, it's just awesome stuff. And it seems like there's a lot going on the screen at once without any like major flickering or slowdown. I mean, this game plays super smooth. That move is so cool. It is a hard game, though. Alright, so let's jump back. I just wanted to show you guys. That's Hagane. Awesome game. But definitely one of the more pricey ones. Got your Joe and Mac games. Jurassic Park. Killer Instinct. King of Dragons, a great Capcom game. I actually spent a lot of time playing this game. I really like it. And another great game, Knights of the Round, another Capcom beat 'em up, just like King of Dragons. Then you got The Legend of Mystical Ninja, when Konami was just reigning supreme with Capcom. Let's see. Forget if this was the one I just showed or not. Yeah. Whoop. Nah, I don't want to show this game. Yeah, it's easy to get mixed up here. There's so many games. Alright, so yeah, the L to P, I believe, is the next one. Lost Vikings 1 and 2, these are some good games. I want to say Magic Sword is pretty good. The other Mega Man games, got Mega Man 7, Mega Man Soccer, which is a weird one. Then we got Mega Man 1 on the system, but here we have Mega Man X2 and X3. So that's pretty cool. Metal Morph, Metal Warriors. I'll put quite a bit of time into Metal Warriors as well. There's some great mech games on the Super Nintendo. And then you have this game, Mortal Kombat, where you have sweat instead of blood. That's why a lot of us played the Genesis version back then. But when Mortal Kombat 2 came out, then we were back on Super Nintendo. They did put blood in that one. Or a blood code, I forget what it was, but you were able to, I think, play with blood finally. NBA Jam, Classic, Ninja Gaiden Trilogy, Ninja Warriors, another decent beat-em-up style game. Parodius, a really goofy shoot-em-up, still a pretty cool game. There's like weird things flying at you, like needles and all kinds of weird stuff. Just an odd game, but definitely cool. Okay, so we'll go to the P's. Alright, Pilot Wings, Pinocchio, Pitfall, Plock. This is a game that I believe Shigeru Miyamoto, the one that made The Legend of Zelda and Mario and Donkey Kong, actually wishes he created this game. And then you got Pocky and Rocky 1 and 2, both really good games. Just throw one on quick so you can just kind of get an idea of what kind of a game this is. These are great games, lots of fun. I highly recommend these games. They're probably a little pricey too for the cartridges because they are just such great games. You can pick between which character you want. Great two-player game. I played this game a lot with my daughter. We have a lot of fun playing this. Yeah, it has like a top-down arcade feel to it. Kind of like a shooter, but lots of fun. And it plays great. It's just real smooth animations, real colorful. Just what a good time. This game just looks great with a cartoony art style, and the second one's just as good, if not better. I mean, they're just great. The Super Nintendo just had some really quality games on it. That's why a lot of people want the Nintendo Switch online service to basically give us Super Nintendo games and not just NES games. And I agree. I wish they would do that. Got your Primal Rage, some Q*bert, R-Type, Rock and Roll Racing, Rocky Rodent. Oh boy. Then you got this is a cool game. I like this, Run Saber. It kind of reminds me of Strider for Sega Genesis. Not quite the Strider arcade version, but maybe like the Strider on the Sega Genesis version. It kind of reminds me of that. You can pick a guy or a woman. But this is a fun game. Each person has this Strider looking like a sword attack. And you also get this big attack that clears the screen. And I picked the girl because I think hers looks cooler. But there's a cool spot in this game where you're fighting on like a jet. So I'm going to do her special move. So yeah, she can clear the screen. Well, I spent some time playing this game with my daughter too. This is fun. Just some good running slash action. So I'll use our attack quick, and then I'm going to jump out of this. Just wanted to show you guys some of the gameplay. Just a fun game. I have a good time playing that. SimCities, Simpsons, Skyblazer, another good game. But yeah, I had some people ask me about, you know, what games I actually had on my Super NES Classic. You know, I had talked about modding it and stuff, and they were just curious what I actually had on here. So I figured I'd make this video, and you guys could see what stuff I actually put on here. And I almost had somebody else do it, and then I decided, you know what? I should just do it. That way I know, you know, what games are on there, and I could switch them if I want. Street Alpha, Fighter Alpha 2. We got Sunset Riders, another great game. Highly recommend this game. This is another one. A cartridge is really expensive. I want to say this cartridge goes for a couple $100, and I always use my man Commando. Commando is awesome. I mean, he has a poncho and a sombrero. You can't go wrong. Oh. These games, arcade style funness, but these games are hard. Definitely don't want to get hit by the dynamite. Or the bullets. Sometimes pretty hard to avoid. And then you got the bulls that charge you here. Just a really fun game. Me and my buddy used to actually skip school to play the Super Nintendo. He had a lot of great games. Unfortunately, somebody stole them as he got a little older. You know, which, that's a real scummy thing to do to somebody. It's like, man, get your own stuff or get a job or something. You know, don't take other people's stuff. That was just a shame to hear that kind of stuff. But that's Sunset Riders, a great game. You got your Bomberman, Super Bonk, another great game. Super Mario All-Stars, fantastic, what a classic. I mean, just the games that they put on here originally are already great games and total classics, but you know, this just adds so much more. Super Smash TV, another great game. Then you have these awesome gems right here. Super Star Wars, all of them, the whole trilogy, and these games are really hard. Wow, are they hard? But they really do look good. They're some of the better Star Wars games made back then. Okay, this is the one I just showed. So easy to lose track. Forget which one I was at. Alright, so here you got Super Turrican and Super Turrican 2. If you actually buy an Super NT Mini, it actually comes with these two games installed on it, which is pretty awesome because they are great games. You got Terminator 2 arcade game, a game I used to play a lot of, and a total classic right here, Turtles in Time. I'm actually going to play a little bit of this. There's always time for Turtles in Time. This game is phenomenal. Probably one of the best beat-em-ups on the Super Nintendo. The game looks great, and it definitely holds up. And it's a pretty good arcade port for the time. All right. All right, the Shredder. Big Apple, 3 a.m. I mean, this game is an absolute classic. And it still holds up. I mean, this art style, I think, is timeless. And just this arcade style. This game just being so bright and colorful, you just can't go wrong. And I was so happy when they put out these mini consoles, just because it's so cool too to have brand new controllers for these systems, like, you know, 20 some 30 years later. It's absolutely amazing, and they feel so good to have fresh controllers that you haven't maybe touched in, you know, a couple decades. So pretty awesome stuff. But such a fun game. Come on, get off. Oh, shell shock. And it's cool that you can throw them at the screen. That is always an awesome effect. Something that the Sega Genesis couldn't do. Because they got a Turtles game, but it wasn't Turtles in Time. They got their own one. But we're going to jump out of this. Go back to the main screen here. And I'll show you some more games. But that was Turtles in Time, an absolute classic. You got Tetris and Dr. Mario, great games. True Lies, that's a good one. Ultimate Mortal Kombat, I love this game. UN Squadron's a good one, and I'm a big fan of Wario's Woods on the NES and the Super NES. Just great games. And Wild Guns, awesome game, very hard. Wolfchild, that's another good game. Something that you normally wouldn't check out, but it is really good. Zombies Ate My Neighbors, another great one. And, you know, sorry if this video is long, but there's just a lot to show on here. So anybody that's sticking with me, thanks, I appreciate it. But the video is actually for some of the viewers that really wanted to see what I have on these this console. Just love the like music that Nintendo put in the background here. That was the one that I just actually checked out. I think I'm at the end here. Was that it? Let's see. That might have been the last one. This might be the last one, I'm not sure. Yeah, so that was the last one. But as you can see, just great stuff. Such good games on this. And it's just so easy. Whoop. It's just so easy going back to the original stuff here. Yeah, why not? We'll just check out Wild Guns real quick. Definitely a cool game. I actually have this on the Nintendo Switch. Wild Guns Reloaded, which is a great version. They add some characters, 2 extra characters, and there's actually an easy mode, so you'll be able to get further in the game for a change. Because, boy, is this game tough. Yeah, it's definitely a different kind of control scheme, so it definitely takes some getting used to, but it's a fun game. Like a Western with robots and stuff. And definitely arcade style. There's not many games quite like this, I can tell you that. But it is hard. Yeah, you die a lot, but I'll jump out of here. Yeah, definitely easy to die in this game, I can tell you that. Alright, so, and just by going to the file, you can see how easy it is to just page through and pick out games. And this is how easy it is to go back to your original game screen. And then you have all the classics that you got on the system, which these are all great games here. I mean, they did do a good job putting a fantastic lineup of games on here. You know, they definitely did a good job, that's for sure. I mean, you can't go wrong with Contra 3, Alien Wars, and Zelda Link to the Past, Super Punch-Out, Super Metroid, Super Mario World, Super Mario RPG, Mario Kart, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Castlevania IV, I mean, Super Street Fighter 2, I mean, this is amazing. Star Fox 2, Secret of Mana, Mega Man X, just a fantastic lineup of games. Final Fantasy, F-Zero, Earthbound, Donkey Kong Country. I mean, it's insane the games that they have on this system. So I absolutely love the Super Nintendo Classic. I think they just did an amazing job. And, you know, if you don't have the system, what are you waiting for? Go get it now before you can't. Because they stopped selling it already. Nintendo stopped selling it. So if you don't have it, do yourself a favor. Go to like a GameStop or something and get it used for maybe a little cheaper. Or just try to get one new online. But hopefully you can get it without having to pay scalper prices. You know, those people, that's pretty lousy. They buy up all the systems and just sell them for super crazy amounts. It's just not right. But, you know, people are going to do what they're going to do. So, do yourself a favor, pick one of these up if you're interested in it. You obviously see that you can just spend a little time watching some YouTube tutorials and you could figure out how to add all these games onto your system. I ain't gonna lie, it takes a little bit to get it all figured out, but it's definitely doable. I mean, I figured it out, and at the time I didn't know much about computers, so I was able to work through and get this things situated and do it, and I'm glad I did. One, I learned a lot about this kind of stuff, and two, I have an amazing console with a huge library of games. So it's absolutely fantastic, and it makes this system worth so much more. But that's the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video. It'll really help out the channel. And do me a favor, please subscribe. I'm definitely looking to expand the subscriber base. Definitely looking to expand, that's for sure. Because I'd love to have other people see this content. But I really appreciate you guys watching, for those of you who stuck around to the end. And this video was for the subscribers that wanted to see what I had on my Super NES Classic. So here you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. This is what I got. And you could have this too. Just get a Super Nintendo Classic and check a tutorial out on YouTube. But that's the video, guys. I'm the War Train, and I'm out. Have a good one.